My name is Emma. I am 32 years old. This is not a love triangle. This is not a romance story. This is a story about trust, about boundaries, and about living with the past. Most people ask me, did he cheat? No, he did not. But sometimes, the hardest pain does not come from cheating. It comes from something quieter, something slower. It comes from feeling invisible in your own home. So let me tell you what happened, and you can decide, what would you do? Welcome to English Story Bundle. I met Daniel 1 year ago. He was calm. He was kind. He listened when I talked. We moved in together after 6 months. Our apartment was small, 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, a tiny kitchen. But it felt safe. It felt like ours. Daniel worked at a bookstore. I worked at a coffee shop. We had simple lives, simple dreams. On weekends, we cooked together. We watched movies. We talked about the future. I thought, this is it. This is the person I have been waiting for. Everything felt right. Everything felt perfect. Until one evening. Daniel came home from work. He looked nervous. His hands were shaking a little. He said, "Emma, I need to tell you something. I thought maybe he lost his job. Or maybe his mother was sick." Then he said, "My ex needs a place to stay." I laughed. I thought he was joking. He was not. Her name was Lena. She was 30 years old. She lost her job 2 weeks ago. Then she lost her apartment. And Daniel said yes, without asking me first. I said, "Wait. She is moving in? Here? With us?" He said, "Just for a few weeks. She has nowhere else to go." I felt my stomach drop, but I did not know what to say. So I said, "Okay." That was my first mistake. Have you ever said yes when you wanted to say no? Think about it. Lena moved in 3 days later. She had 2 suitcases and a smile that seemed too comfortable. She said, "Thank you, Emma. I will not stay long." But she already knew where everything was. The cups, the towels, the extra blankets. This used to be her home. She lived here with Daniel for 2 years. At first, I tried to be kind. I tried to be understanding. But small things started to happen. Lena cooked Daniel's favorite meals, pasta with garlic, the way he liked it. She knew his schedule. She knew when he came home. She waited for him. One night, I came home early. They were in the kitchen, laughing, standing too close. My chest felt tight. My hands felt cold. I walked to our bedroom. I closed the door quietly. Daniel did not follow me. Another night, Lena talked about old memories. "Remember that trip to the beach?" she said. "Remember that little restaurant we loved?" Daniel smiled. He remembered. I sat there, silent, like a stranger. Days became weeks. Weeks felt like months. I started to feel like a guest, in my own home, in my own relationship. At night, I could not sleep. Questions filled my head. Am I jealous? Am I overthinking? Or is this really not okay? I asked Daniel, "When is she leaving?" He said, "Soon. She is looking for a place." But nothing changed. One night, I could not take it anymore. I came home. They were watching TV together, on our couch. Lena was laughing at something Daniel said. I stood there, and I felt something break inside me. I said, "I need to talk to you, Daniel. Now." We went to the bedroom. I closed the door. I said, "I cannot do this anymore." Daniel looked surprised. "What do you mean?" I said, "I feel like a guest in my own home. I feel replaced. I feel invisible." "I did not mean for you to feel that way," he said. I said, "But I do. And feelings do not disappear just because you did not notice them." He was quiet. I said, "She needs to leave." Or I will. 2 weeks later, Lena moved out. But something else moved out too. Something I could not get back. My trust. Daniel and I are still together. But things are different now. We talk more carefully. We move more slowly. There is a distance that was not there before. Sometimes love is not tested by cheating. Sometimes love is tested by boundaries. And I learned something important. Lesson 1. Boundaries are not walls. They are bridges. They protect what matters most. And that is you. When you say no, you are not being mean. You are being honest. When you protect your space, you are not being selfish. You are being wise. Lena did not respect my space. Daniel did not protect my feelings. And I almost lost myself trying to be kind. Lesson 2. Saying yes when you mean no is not kindness. It is betrayal. Betrayal of yourself. I said, okay, when I wanted to say no. I stayed quiet when I wanted to scream. I smiled when I wanted to cry. And every time I did that, I lost a little piece of me. Your voice matters. Your feelings matter. Do not silence yourself to keep the peace. Because a peace built on silence is not real peace. It is just waiting. Waiting to break. Lesson 3. Your feelings are valid. Even if no one else sees the problem, if you feel it, it is real. Daniel said, I did not see it that way. But that does not make my pain less real. You do not need permission to feel hurt. You do not need proof to trust your heart. If something feels wrong, listen to that feeling. It is trying to protect you. I do not know if Daniel and I will last. I do not know if trust can fully return. But I know this. I will never ignore my feelings again. I will never let someone make me feel invisible in my own life. So tell me, if you were in my shoes, would you stay or walk away? Think about it. Really think about it. Because sometimes the hardest questions do not have easy answers, but they always teach us who we really are. This is Emma's story, but maybe it is your story too. Maybe you are feeling invisible right now. Maybe someone is crossing your boundaries. Maybe you are saying yes when you mean no. If that is you, remember this. You deserve to feel safe. You deserve to feel seen. You deserve to take up space in your own life. Do not wait for permission. Do not wait for things to get worse. Speak up. Set boundaries. Protect your peace. Because at the end of the day, the most important relationship you have is the one with yourself. Thank you for listening. This is English Story Bundle. If this story touched your heart, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And remember, your feelings are valid, your voice matters, and you are not alone.